It's 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and you know what that means, don't you? It's time for another exciting episode of Taxi's Quarantini Happy Hour. Woohoo! And boy, am I happy. Yeah, baby. And thank you, fake audience. Thank you, fake band. There they are. They are astonishingly good. Park them over there so I can leave this chair available. Ooh, I've got a shadow going on over. Oh, I know what's missing. I've got to turn on my magic light. There we go. Now I look all better. Hello, everybody. How are you? Let me get in the chat room and say hello to everybody. We've got Jesse J. Peck, Bob Gunnerfelt, Kira Canyon, Greg Carosa, Dan Weber, Andre Stepanian, Dean Turner, Darren Fletcher, Il Rasso Emil. Let me kill my email. Can't have that going ding dong. Okay, there goes that. Minimize that screen. Whoa, look at all that stuff flying by. Let's see. Hello, Liz. Hello, Daryl Berman. Hello, Wind Chimes. Patrick Adams. Michael McGraw. Chaotic. Edmund Red. Pete Mason. Do the thumb thing. That's right. Like us. Yeah, a lot of likes yesterday on the show with the Mystery Music Library owner. Hello, Khalid. Hello, Peter Rahill. Hello, Glenn Letts. Ian Shortall. Thank you, Lori. That I thought that was a great show myself. Not that I had much to do with it, but I thought that our guest gave a lot of great information. Robert Orzechowski, Michael McGraw, Lamar Pecorino. George was great. Yes, George was. Hello, Cass. How are you? Cass, you'll be happy to know, but heartbroken, that up until about 3 minutes ago, I was wearing my t-shirt with a profile of a goat on it. Unfortunately, I was out in the backyard hosing something off and some mud splashed on me. So I had to throw on my dress clothes for today's show. Hello, Alex Dillon, Jan Weilage, Pierre Venio. Before I forget, maybe I should wait till the room fills up. But is anybody in here from Quebec or Montreal? Infamous California mudslides, yeah. Edmund, can I have a potential taxi member who reached out to member services? Where are you from? You're from Quebec, right? Anyway, somebody who's, Montreal, okay. Somebody who was thinking about joining taxi. He's written some songs for Celine Dion. I don't know if that means when she was in junior high or if he had hits with her. Member services tells me he's an older gentleman. And he's thinking about joining taxi. That always scares me a little bit. It's like, I had hits with Celine Dion back in 1989. Damn it, I can't believe you guys don't forward my music that I'm pitching at every possible thing. But anyway, he asked if it would be possible for us to connect him with a current member who is in Quebec or Montreal. And being that you are in Montreal, would it be okay if I gave that gentleman your phone number? I don't know what his name is at the moment, but I would have him say, "Hi, I'm calling about taxi." Aldo Nova. I recorded Aldo Nova for 2 days back in like 1980 in my studio in Fort Lauderdale. There's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. He told me he wanted the guitar sound to sound more like a bubble. That's the only thing I remember. Nice enough guy, but when he came in the control room and said, the guitars just don't sound like I'm used to hearing it. I want to sound like it's in a bubble. And as soon as he walked out the door, my assistant engineer just cracked up, fell on the floor, holding his gut, laughing himself silly. Hello, JP. How are you? Thank you, Edmund. I'm going to make a note here on my little notepad. Yeah, and feel free. I mean, you can talk him out of joining if you want. We don't. Obviously, he could submit music to the vintage stuff. If he's got a bunch of old demos, he might be really prime for the vintage stuff, but he's probably from that old songwriter, typical music industry, record industry side of publishing, where he doesn't understand that libraries get the publisher share and you keep the writer share. So he may find the whole thing just offensive or not for him. And just not that I would think he'd be dishonest, but be honest. I'm not asking you to sell a membership to him, just to give him a fair overview. That's weird. Martin Gravel's only got no sound, no picture, just the chat. Well, that should be good enough, shouldn't it? Oh, man. Thanks, Edmund. Okay, let's see. What else? As I mentioned before we went live, I put a little thing in the chat room. We have a surprise live in-studio guest that should be here around 4:45, just to do a little cameo at the end of today's show. So you will most likely see us doing a show like this. Ho ho. You know what's cool about these is you can have the worst breath in the world and just not worry about it because you're the only person that's going to smell it. Actually, I just brushed my teeth. I wanted to have fresh, sparkling breath for the show today, so I hope you guys appreciate that. Hello, Paul Etheridge. How are you? Mrs. Laskow? No, she's not going to join us. Oh, you got the stitches out. That's good. Yay. Glad to hear that. Yeah, that's right. Or you could have, why is it the people in the UK, in Europe kind of in general, have this horrible reputation that follows around, terrible teeth? I mean, don't they have good dentists in Europe now? Avon calling. Not Rob Shirelli, no. Nope. Not Shirelli. Not Aaron, although I did spend about 45 minutes on the phone today with the lovely Aaron Jacobson. I just saw that we eat too much candy, and I thought, Pete Mason's defending the alleged bad teeth in Europe. I don't think you guys eat any more candy than we do over here. Too hard to get the dentist out of the pubs? Nope, not Bria. She is in Kentucky. Yeah, they do have great dairy over there. Do you know? So I have discovered goat milk about 2 or 3 years ago. For the holidays, one of my daughters gave me a goat cheese making kit. So I had to go out and buy some goat milk, and I tried it. And now that's pretty much the only milk I will drink. First of all, it's got more calcium, less fat, more protein, all that stuff than regular milk. But and the fat globules or molecules that are in there are supposed to be much smaller than the fat molecules in cow's milk. Therefore, it's easier to digest and less likely to cause cholesterol issues or something. But it just tastes better. I grew up in a farm town, and we had soybeans and corn in every direction as far as the eye could see once you were like at the edge of town. And that's how things are out in the Midwest. It's like there's a town of 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people, then corn for like 10 miles, then another town, and then corn for another 10 miles, and then another town, and then soybeans. You get the idea. But there are also a lot of cows. So we used to get cow's milk delivered to our house directly to the front door. There was like a little aluminum or a little metal box with a lid on it that was insulated. And the milkman, we actually had a milkman. would deliver it, and it came in glass bottles. It was cold, and it had like the little foil caps on it. And I remember how good that milk tasted. It was actually like, good. Well, that's how the only brand I've seen so far in grocery stores of goat milk is called Meyenberg, Meyenberg. They must have cornered the market on goat milk in the United States, certainly in California. And I've got to tell you, that Meyenberg goat milk tastes exactly like that, like dairy fresh. I mean, we would get it when it was like 2 or 3 hours out of the cow, and the goat milk tastes like that. So just saying, guys, drink that goat milk. Cass is giving a smile and a thumbs up. I'm hoping that's for the goat milk and not about somebody's comment that flew by about roller derby people. Ooh, Cass has a skate video on YouTube. It's epic. I'm going to track that down. Check out Cass video. Is it, if I go on YouTube and just search Cass McKenty, will it show up? Um, yeah, I grew up 85, 90 miles outside of Chicago. Several of my family members actually live in Chicago and in one of the northern suburbs. As a matter of fact, my dad, who is almost 96 years old, lives right on like the best block of real estate in Chicago on Michigan Avenue. And they had riots there Sunday night, man. People busting into stores. It's called the Magnificent Mile. He lives literally like you could, um, spit out of his window. He actually lives in a high rise on the 19th floor, but you could spit out of his window and probably hit the original water tower stone structure that's still there. I was a Blackhawks fan when I was a kid. Um, Gordie Howe, go Gordie. I don't watch hockey anymore though. But my cousins in St. Louis, to answer your question, Robert, my cousins in St. Louis every summer when we went to visit them would just roll on the floor laughing about our accent. Park the car in the parking lot. They would imitate us. I don't think we sounded like that. But, I spent 16 years in Illinois, no, 17 years in Illinois, then Miami for 10 years, then New York City for 6-ish years, and then Los Angeles. So hopefully I don't have much of a Midwestern accent, although it's one of the better ones you could have. My friend has a studio in Evanston, Illinois. We're the home of beautiful Northwestern University. YouTube, Cass McKenty. All right, I'll be checking that out tonight. Uh, Bobby Orr, yep. I've got a story for you about Evanston, Illinois. So my now brother-in-law, back when he was engaged to my sister, and this would have been like in the late 60s, was going to Northwestern. I think he was in law school there, I think. Maybe undergrad, whatever. Anyway, he invited my best friend and me to come up for the weekend and stay at his apartment. He was very straight arrow, still is, and got really upset that my best friend and I think we were like freshmen in high school maybe, we each stuck a can of Budweiser in our sleeping bags so that we could party on Friday night. And he found out that we had that can of Budweiser with us and went through the roof. Your parents would kill me if they knew that you were drinking here under my roof. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the next day he had to go to a study thing, like a group study thing. So my best friend and I walked around Evanston and we saw Little Caesars Pizza. Sorry, got a little something in my mouth there. And we walk in Little Caesars and we order, let's say pepperoni and mushroom pizza or whatever. And the guy behind the counter is kind of a hippie. I remember this is like, 1968, 69, 70, somewhere around there. The guy behind the counter goes, "Would you like the special?" And I said, "What's the special? Does it have more stuff on it? Is it bigger? Why do you call it the special?" And he pulls out a bag of weed. And he says, "This is what the extra ingredient is." And we went, "No way, dude, really?" I couldn't believe. First of all, back then you go to prison for that. And so yeah, we ordered the special, and they sprinkled some wheat on it. And I've got to say, we were just laughing and laughing and laughing. My brother-in-law came home. He goes, "What the hell's so funny? Why are you guys laughing?" We couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, that's my recollection of Evanston. A fine city it is. Let's see. Okay. So, a couple of other announcements. I want to see what you guys think about this. Um, I had what I think is a really good idea today. By the way, I can officially say now the road rally is going to be virtual. I got released, I might have mentioned it yesterday, but I finally got the release from the contract with the Westin, so I can speak about it publicly and not worry about a perceived breach of contract. And as I've been putting together the so-called panels for this year's rally, which will of course be virtual, I was getting bummed out of getting emails from, I have so many close friends who do the classes every year at the road rally and the mentoring and blah, blah, blah. And they're sending me emails like crazy. I got one from Fett, who is probably our favorite mixing advisor at the road rally. I know people love his classes. I was on the phone with Erin Jacobson today, the music attorney who I adore, and she was asking, "So what's the deal?" You know, and she was probably wondering, am I going to be on one of the ballroom, I say that in quotes, ballroom classes. But I think I've had her on stage the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know. So it's really, really hard picking the 16 to 18 things that are going to be the road rally panels, in quotes. And then it dawned on me. I want to do what I will call the Road Rally prequel this year. Now, the Road Rally stuff on YouTube is going to be only for taxi members and a guest. You guys are going to get a magic link that will get you into that stuff. The public is not invited. The public is not welcome. I may take some, little snippets of like prime moments of the Road Rally and put those up on our YouTube channel afterwards. But only taxi members who have paid for a membership and deserve this kind of royal treatment and a guest are going to be allowed to watch the actual live road rally and the archives thereof. But I thought to myself, I don't want to do classes while that stuff is going on. Too much tech and having the teachers run their own tech, and if things melt down, we're going to get 100 emails. "Oh, I tried to watch Fett's class, but it was glitching out on me, blah, 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 blah." So I want to do road rally prequels on 5 or 10 days leading up to the road rally. Rather than doing Quarantini happy hours, I'm going to do road rally prequels where I will have people who are some of our favorite and best teachers doing classes every day in this time slot. So that way they can get the exposure, you guys can get the benefit of all the great stuff that they teach, and I can bring more stuff to the road rally. I will make the prequels open to the public, and I'm going to count on you guys in the chat room to say, "Yeah, join taxi, go to the road rally." It's going to be, look, it's going to be a sales tool. I'm not going to lie about it, but that wasn't the reason I had the idea. When I originally had the idea, I hung up the phone with Erin Jacobson and I went, "Oh man, I feel bad. I don't have her slotted for a ballroom panel." And then I went, "Wow, but she gives great information. Why don't I have her teach a class?" So I've got to figure that out and make sure. I've got to see if I'm going to do, a split screen with me introducing the person, and then there's always that technical aspect of the split screen, which is it can be glitchy depending on somebody's upload bandwidth and their Wi-Fi at home. I guess I could do them as phone calls, so we'll see, but. It's not etched in stone. I haven't even told the staff yet, but you can expect a road rally series of prequels, at least 5 days of those, possibly 10, leading up to the road rally. It'll be on YouTube. Um, Thanks, JP. I like it. You know, and thanks, Robert and Bob, um, Pierre, Akira. It's just another way to give you guys something closer to the actual amount of content that we put on for you at the Road Rally. Doing the one-to-one mentors, we have considered that extensively, doing one-to-one mentors on video. The problem, again, is always the bandwidth, the bandwidth and the Wi-Fi. I can just imagine if we've got 10 or 20 people working from their homes doing one-to-one mentoring, there are going to be problems. And we're going to have a bunch of really ticked off people who's like, well, I was signed up for the mentor slot at 4:15, but I couldn't get him. He just kept dropping out, or, I was getting a black screen, and we're just going to be bombarded, absolutely bombarded with people complaining about the tech, which will be out of our control in the one-to-one context. At least for the prequels, I feel like I would have some control over it. And you know me, I loves me control. I do. Ooh, Greg Carosa upgraded to 35 megs or 35 kbs, kilobaud upload, right? That's robust. That's good. So that means I could have you as a guest again and know that we would have a really good connection. Something I've discovered also with some of my guests who will remain unnamed, but I've had glitchy video when megabits per second. Wow. Or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it is megs. Whatever, 35 is a good number. I've got between 10 and 12 right now, which I had to upgrade to do the Quarantinis all the time. Remember, first day or two I did Quarantinis, things were a little sketchy. So sometimes I have guests that have great bandwidth, but then they're on Wi-Fi because they're not running a wire to their Ethernet. A lot of people don't even know that they've got Ethernet at home, but virtually every modem that you've got in your house will have an Ethernet port on the back of it. But you have to go out and buy, like a 30-foot or a 50-foot cable like I've got, which runs right there. It runs from our loft down the back of that thing. There it is, along the floor. I can't do this. There we go. It runs along the floor. Yeah, you get the idea. And I'm pretty stable here. Wow, Pierre's at 89. Wow. So yeah, I've had people. I had somebody that had 100 up, and but his kid was playing online video games during the show, which was totally sucking the Wi-Fi bandwidth, and I had a glitchy guest. The Rogue Rally. I like it. Good job, you guys. I heard Zoom has a waiting room for the one-to-one mentoring. Hopefully the host can control each person without dropping off of Zoom. I'll check that out. Again, it's the bandwidth. Yeah, we use Zoom for staff meetings, and we've had problems. It's not horrible. I mean, it's certainly impressive technology as a whole. The Google thing, the Google Meet or whatever they call that thing, I do a regular meeting every Thursday morning with our search engine optimization, or as I like to call them, the SEO team. And we have problems with that, and both of those guys are really good techies, and we still have problems with it. And both of these guys actually, I believe, have home studios. I know one of them certainly has a home studio, and he uploads big files, and he knows what he's doing, but still have the problems. Pierre has awesome speed, but he's running a Commodore 64. Hey, don't say anything nasty about Commodore 64s. I found one in a dumpster one time back in like 19... 81, I believe. Yeah, I think I was still living in Fort Lauderdale at the time. So I found this Commodore 64 that somebody just tossed in a dumpster. I pulled it out of the dumpster, brought it home, hooked it up to a 13-inch black and white TV, went to Radio Shack and bought a keyboard for it. And I realized, I mean, I didn't even know what an operating system was, but it didn't really have an operating system. I mean, it certainly didn't have like Word or Excel or any of that stuff in there. I remember that it took me a few months to program my name in like 6-inch high letters on that thing. And then when I left Florida to move to New York, it went back to the dumpster. The keyboard, yeah, right. The Commodore 64 came inside of the keyboard. There you go. I've still got a Palm Pilot laying around the office somewhere. I actually started Taxi. I wrote the business plan for Taxi on my wife's DOS computer with a green monochrome screen on it, and at the last real job I had before I started Taxi, I actually had a Mac Classic that was pretty easy to use. And that's what I learned computers on, really, because you can't really call my Commodore 64 experience learning much of anything. Hello, Dan Weber. Yeah, the 8088 chip, yep. Yeah, if it was a Neve 8088, we'd like it, but not in a chip in a DOS computer. I remember, I don't think that it didn't have a mouse. I mean, if you wanted to go somewhere in your screen, you had to arrow up or arrow over to it and then hit enter when you're on it. Oh my gosh. Yep. Wow, Robert Orzechowski says he's playing Pong online. You know, that actually sounds kind of fun. Oh, one more thing that I want to mention now that I've eaten up a half an hour just chatting about nothing, is tomorrow I'm going to try my new toy. That thing. Which, wow, I can't believe I got it on. It's actually like where it should be. Cool. So my new toy, crap, will let me, I can plug my cell phone directly into it and then bring that into the audio portion of Wirecast. I can bring in anything on a USB and add it to the mix. I can play music from my phone or my laptop and have it go into Wirecast, so no more speakers to microphone. What else can I do with this thing? I can have up to 4 microphones going live, and it's got built-in sound effect pads on it. I actually kind of like the applause and the laughter, so you can bet, at least certainly on the Quarantini shows, we will be overusing the sound effects. It's got 2 other banks, so it's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 24 pads that you can load sound effects or music into. So yeah, I could import iCarly, I could import The Band, and have that stuff just ready to go. I really got it so that I could up my game a little bit for the road rally, but I've got to learn how to use it. So that said, when I tried to hook it up and use it the other day, all of a sudden the microphone was not live. And I've got to say, I've got a collector's item. See if anybody can identify this bad boy. Notice there is no logo anywhere on this. I'll even give you a close-up of this stuff. Interesting, huh? When was the last time you saw a connector like that one? This thing's got to be, I don't know, 10 years old, but it's got a roll-off. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's got a roll-off. It's got a pad. No, I've got my the microphone I use here every day is in fact an Audio Technica AT2020, and I really like that mic. Gotta say, really like it. But yes, this one is actually it was a prototype of a Gauge 47. It's got the 47 capsule in it, but it's also got the ability to connect it via USB, and it's got a headphone out jack with a volume control on it. So I can, yeah, if you were, recording at home, it's a cool little mic to use. But I'd never plugged it in, so I plugged it in the other day. It's also got an XLR out, so I plugged in the XLR and brought it into my new Rodecaster, and the microphone sounds incredible. Rob once told me that the 47 capsule was his favorite sounding capsule of Gauge stuff at that time. I don't know what was different about that capsule from the 87, but anyway, I plugged this thing in the other day. I started out with the Gauge ECM 87 that had my initials on it. And here's the funny thing, is Rob had given me an ECM 87 years ago. And here's my Rob voice. Laskow, it's Rob. We were testing ooh, there goes some military helicopters. Oh no. Flying by at approximately 1,000 feet. Wow, I'm in trouble. Anyway, he gave me this 87. He said, I want you to have this out of the entire batch that we tested today that we recently got from China. This one just sounded amazing, and I want you to have it. So I had that thing sitting in my office for years and years, and we had a really nice staff member named Henry. And Henry asked if he could borrow it to do some home recording. And I said, sure. So I let him take it home, and he was, oh man, that mic sounds amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then about 2 months later, Henry announced that he was leaving to go get a job being an accountant at a publishing company. And I say, you know what, Henry, I've loved working with you. We've all loved having you here. Just keep the microphone. I figured I'd get another one from Rob. No big deal. Well, 2 or 3 years passed, and Rob sold Gauge. And the new owner of Gauge came over to the office and was asking me if I would be kind enough to give them a free booth at the road rally like I had done for Rob. And I said, I got to tell you, no. I'm sorry, but I've never met you before. I don't know you. Rob is my best friend. We're like family. And so, yeah, I always gave him, a free booth, and he repaid the kindness by giving me a bunch of microphones to give away on stage and stuff. He's obviously very generous with the software, but I didn't know this guy. He was a nice enough guy, but I'm not just going to give somebody a $3,500 booth for free. I drive a hard bargain. Anyway, so the guy, I was telling him the story about how I gave away the Rob special mic, that sounded so amazing. So I think the guy was trying to make nice with me and get me to rethink my position on giving him a free booth. A couple days later, he drops off a brand new Gauge ECM 87 at the front desk with a Post-it note on it says, for Michael. So I thought that was very nice. I called him up and I thanked him, and no, I didn't give him a free booth. And I stuck the mic on a shelf in the office, had it there for years. I brought it home maybe a year or two ago, stuck it in my closet up with old shoe boxes here at the house. So the other night when I got this new box, I bring it downstairs, I plug it in, and I hear, and I thought it was my Rodecaster. And I spent like an hour or so, testing all my levels, all my connections, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, I'm not doing what a good engineer does, which is process of elimination. Let's start with the source. So I unplugged the ECM 87, plugged in the 47, and went away. The microphone was toast. So boy, am I glad I didn't give that guy a free booth at the road rally, because he gave me a crap microphone that's absolutely worthless. But the 47 sounds amazing. The problem is it's so sensitive and sounds so amazing that it picks up a lot of the room around me, which the AT2020 does not. So I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is just keep the AT 2020 going in this, to Wirecast the way it is now, and just use the new box to bring in the sound effects and the phone and the music. We shall see. All that said, that the other day when I was messing around with it, it would not let me have that thing plugged in and have the AT 2020 working as it normally did. So I'm going to try and do the setup for tomorrow's show. There's some chance you guys could log on to the show tomorrow and see me in the chat room going, sorry, folks, it didn't work. I'm going to try and get it done early enough in the day that if I break something, I've got time to fix it. But yes, you're going to be guinea pigs. Absolutely. You guys are my very favorite guinea pigs. I couldn't possibly pick better guinea pigs, right? So that's that. Any questions from you guys? Because I'm out of stuff to talk about. That's right. The taxi's in reverse position, threatening that vase with a head-on collision. Absolutely. Good news is that vase is actually made out of wood. Oh no, there's a crow standing right next to my tomato plant. Keep walking. Keep walking. Oh, now he's going to the other tomato plant. Hey, crow, I own a pellet gun. My wife would kill me. Liz would kill me. That crow is checking out those tomatoes. Will the road rally be on YouTube or any other platform? We were going to do a simulcast and do it. Oh, great. Now the bunny is out there. The whole menagerie is out there. That's all right, JP. You can bail early, but thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. We're going to do it on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. But we decided just to do it on YouTube. And the reason is we didn't want to have two chats going at the same time. Much of the benefit of the road rally is the people you meet, the connections, the relationships. And it just seemed weird to have two audiences in two places, and there's just no reason that people can't log on to just YouTube. So there you go. No, you don't need a hall pass, JP. But I think nowadays they're doing away with the police. I just heard that about a week ago. They're doing away with the police that are stationed at a lot of schools. That scares me. You know what? If a shooter shows up, God forbid, I want a cop there. So yeah, you might need a concealed carry permit or something. Students, now they're going to be happy that students are showing up armed to school. No, that's not good. Will there be a Dean Crepane class at the road rally? I'm thinking that Dean might be a good person to do one of the prequels. I think I've had him last year on the stage in the Grand Ballroom, and the year before. Can I please set up a Taxi Road Rally Discord chat? I promise it will be good. But that accomplishes the. Are you talking about a live chat during the show? Are you talking about a Discord chat that would be a place for people to congregate before and after? During the show, I only want one chat going. Shoot an email to member services at shoot an email to member services at taxi.com explaining what you plan on doing, and give me a link so I can go check it out. How's that sound? Between the shows, probably. Just so you know, right now at the moment, I may change my mind on this, but what I'm planning on doing is having the road rally basically be one long continuous live webcast from 9 in the morning until 6 or 6:30 p.m. With the sponsor things thrown in, in between, like half-hour sponsor shows in between the panels. But it's going to be one live continuous stream, I believe. Yeah, an online registration line. We should do that, right? I don't have a relationship with Dave Grohl, but I know people who know him, and we've tried to get him. Actually, what's the name of that incredible movie they did? Oh gosh, what was it called? Sound City, about that classic studio, which Dave Grohl made that movie, and I wanted to do a movie night. I think it was 4 years ago. I reached out to him through an intermediary, and he liked the idea, but was going to be on tour or something and couldn't do it. But yeah, one day we're going to have Sound City screened at 6:30 in the Grand Ballroom with popcorn and Dave Grohl hanging out doing a little post movie chit chat with you guys. I reached out to Rick Beato a week or so ago and never heard back from him. He probably just doesn't know how cool we are. Yeah, it was a great movie. I was actually in that studio back in, I don't know, maybe 79, 80, 81, somewhere around there. The place literally looked like a dump, but it had a vibe and it had a sound, and the movie was great. I don't have any relationship with Warren. And frankly, you know what? People have suggested him before, and Rick Beato, and I'm thinking, what could I possibly have them cover for the Road Rally that they haven't covered 10 Ways Till Sunday on their own channels anyway? So I don't know. You know, I loved the Rick Beato thing, analyzing Steely Dan Asia. It was amazingly good. Um, what about the Wilson sisters from Heart? I actually have a good relationship with a woman who co-wrote some of their big hits, and I actually I engineered 3 remote gigs for them back in, I can't remember the year, but yeah, I did 3 gigs where I engineered their concerts, recorded their concerts in a remote truck. But had a little bit of contact with them. Yeah, they would come in and listen to stuff after the show, or come into the bus and say hi before the show. And I remember after the first night, wherever we were, I can't remember what city we were in, and somebody said, okay, you're riding with the crew in the equipment truck to the next city. And I went, no, I'm not. Check my contract. Airfare. It's included. So they had to buy me a ticket for some ridiculous amount of money. It was in the contract. And I don't think the Wilson sisters were all that happy with me, but damn it, it was just a coach seat. It wasn't like I was acting for first class. Virtual bar, ghost boozers. I like that. Yeah, I miss Ralph Murphy. I think about him. If Ralph had any idea how much I think about him now that he's dearly departed, he would be very touched. He's a very close friend and a close friend with my family. He stayed here at the house for like 10, 20 years, every year that he came out to LA, usually for the ASCAP thing. He would come out a few days before, and I would take a couple days off work, and Ralph and I would golf 2 or 3 days in a row. And man, oh man, we all miss him. We really do. He was such a cool guy. I hope my guest is going to show up. I hope. Let me check my phone, see if I have any texts. Okay. Do I know Doug Stebleton, Iron Mike Productions? I do not. Let's see what that says. Oh, that was a text. Sorry, I know it's rude. Oh, okay. That was somebody texting me saying the guest is on its way. Notice I said it's. I'm not even giving it away if it's a male or female. It could be a dog. Insert name here. That's right. The guest is insert name. Who's a fan? No, Doug Sebleton. No, fantastic man. Producer and a music supervisor. Well-rounded. Film music composer Terrence Blanchard. No, I know the name, but don't know Terrence. Is there a myth floating around the industry that if you're in the industry that you know everybody? It's like Hollywood, right? Every actor knows every other actor. Ronan, there's somebody that I would love to have teach a class. I'm telling you, these crows are really pissing me off. There's like 2 of them out there right now walking around checking out my tomatoes. I think I need a scarecrow. Yeah, it's true. 6 degrees of ML. Hey, I thought you were taking off there, JP. Couldn't leave, could you? Class was that good. Heidi Owen, number 1 on the pellet gun, or +1 on the pellet gun. My wife would kill me. I probably shouldn't have said the GUN word on YouTube. They'll probably ban me. Oh, man. Got the black crows in the backyard. Do you know? Here's a little taxi trivia for you. Do you know that the bass player, and his name escapes me right now, what was the lead singer's name of the Black Crows? Derwitz? I think it was Derwitz, right? Something like that. The guy with the fake dreadlocks or something. Anyway, the bass player from the Chris Robinson? Who am I thinking? What band am I thinking of then? What? Adam Derwitz. What band was he in? The Counting Crows. Thank you. I knew it had crows in it. Okay. Could have been Cameron Crowe for all I know. I know there's going to be a dead crow in my backyard if these guys don't leave my tomatoes alone. Liz, you may have to forgive me. I need abstention. Anyway, the bass player from Counting Crows was a screener at Taxi, believe it or not. Let's Google and see who that was. Liz probably already knows. He actually lives kind of near the Taxi office. Counting Crows bass player.
The bassist of Counting Crows is Millard Powers.
Nope, not that one. The old one. The original. Matt Malley. He was a founding member of Counting Crows, and he was a Taxi screener on and off for probably 4 or 5 years. And yeah, he would do one-to-one mentoring at the Road Rally. He did mentor lunches, an incredibly nice guy. And about as far away from being a rock star or even recognizing that he was a rock star. He was just like, you know, if the guy lived in a 1,000-square-foot house next door to you and you saw him out, you know, taking his garbage out, like, hey, how you doing? You would never know he's a rock star. I'm telling you, he didn't know he was a rock star. And you ask him about stuff regarding the band, it's like, yeah, I'm exhausted from all the touring. Just didn't talk about it a whole bunch. I don't think he left the band on any bad terms or anything. I think he just burned out on the touring schedule. Michael, I've written some tracks with someone that has gone silent for about 3 weeks, and my best to just let the tracks go. Curious what would be the protocol. Move on, lesson learned. Honestly, I don't have great advice for you on that. I mean, you know, did you know the person in advance very well? Are they ghosting you? Or, you know, maybe they've got the Rona. Who knows? I've got an Alexa. I can't say her name very loudly. She hears you no matter where you are in the house. Where's my guest? Have you ever played Jeopardy on Alexa? Ghosted, huh? Um, I don't know what to tell you. Was it somebody that you knew in advance and had a relationship with, or just somebody you were introduced to and you worked with them? Maybe they didn't like the way the writing sessions went and just went, forget it, moving on. Yeah, there are a million reasons. Don't think the worst. And if it turns out that, just flat out say to that person, hey man, if you didn't like the way the sessions went, you don't want to work together, just say so. See you, JP. Thanks. Hopefully the guest will show momentarily. The show might be running long today because I want the guest to at least come and say hello. I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I hope the show doesn't go on because almost every day when the show is over, excuse me, I've got these blue, unsalted, not deep fried, healthy blue corn chips. And they're actually really good. They're like super thick and super crunchy, very satisfying to eat. And have you gotten the sour cream in the squeeze package yet? It never goes bad. It's awesome. Well, I mean, eventually it'll go bad. But sour cream and cottage cheese and cream cheese, those three things, you get them in like the little fake Tupperware container from the grocery store. You use them once, put the lid back on, you go back to use it a week later, and there's mold in there. Well, the sour cream that comes, it's kind of like a giant toothpaste tube. It never goes bad in there. So, is my guest coming for dinner? Maybe. Let's not get personal. Anyway, that's my routine. After I finish the show, usually I'm starving, and the first thing I do is go squeeze some sour cream on a paper plate and dig in with my chips and turn on the news for 5 minutes, and then come back and look at the computer to see how many emails have amassed. What's up? Can we really sell music to top artists with Taxi? I'm considering getting a subscription. Best thing you can do is Taxi works. I mean, everybody in the chat room will tell you we're legit. We do what we do. We don't profess to perform miracles. Just because you think your music is great and you think you've got hits and you submit it, it's all about reading the listings carefully, submitting the right music, and having the quality be over the bar. I can tell you with almost 100% certainty that there will be times that you're like, what the hell, Taxi? I can't believe you didn't forward my music. And then 6 months later, you'll be looking back going, now I see why they didn't forward my music. But it works. Sidney Poitier not coming to dinner. But, we're legit. But if you've got an album full of stuff that you made, a few years ago, and you're just going to pitch the same 5 or 10 songs to every listing going, man, it doesn't matter that it doesn't meet the requirements. They're just going to hear how brilliant it is, and they're going to forward it to the person in the industry anyway. Not going to happen. Best thing you can do is get on our email list, look at the listings, go on the website and look at under the Submit Music tab. Whoops. I believe our special guest is here. Woohoo! Well, hello, special guest. Come on in. How are you? No, it's okay. Come on in. I've been prepping them that I've got to thank you. Have a seat and scoot on in. We'll probably have to scoot back. So I don't have to move the camera. Yay, the special guest is here, everybody. Let's see if the camera can focus. It's Ariana! Yay! And we're sitting so far from the camera that now I can't even see what you guys are saying. Yeah, somebody. Nope, not Randy. Randy actually will be here shortly. The staff is coming out. We're having a little going away party for Ariana and for Isaac. And so I asked Ari to come a little early so she could say goodbye to you guys because, she's been part of the family here on Taxi TV, or the Quarantinis in particular, now for several months. And I just figured this would be a good chance for her to say, see you later, suckers. Hi, Ariana.
Hello. It's so cool to be on this side of the chat. Yeah, I totally get the view now when you talk about animals.
Oh yeah, the crows. Oh, I forgot.
You have the wildlife here. Yeah.
I know. And just moments ago, I was talking about the fact that the crows were sniffing around the tomatoes. I got to turn on the kitchen lights. I just realized part of my lighting scheme was not turned on today.
Well, you got hair and makeup. So.
Yeah, just barely.
Hi guys! Oh, this is so cool. So nice.
Isn't it funny?
Here. Yeah.
And wow, what a nice reflection of the floor.
Actually, the lighting looks pretty good. Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, and our masks,
Yeah, I know. It's so dorky. I mean,
much different from Bria's episode. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, Bria's like, yeah, sure, no mask, whatever.
Yeah.
ML with the clock spokes look like, I look like, there you go, Statue of Liberty. There you go.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, your baby halo's over here.
That's right. That's right, the baby halo. She's leaving Taxi. She's got a family member that needs her to come home and be the primary caretaker, and that's all we really want to say about that, but it's where she needs to be, and we are all just devastated, me in particular, because we had, Bria and I, the three of us, were really a strong triumvirate. So I'm glad that Bria has come back. Sad to see Ariana going, and hopefully she'll be back someday, because I told her she will always have an open door. She's really been one of the very best we've ever had at Taxi, and she and I have enjoyed doing marketing stuff together. It's
so fun. Yeah, I've learned so much from you.
Oh, thanks. And it's funny, I was on the phone with Bria earlier today talking about something, and I can't remember what it was. And I said, yeah, now that Nurse Ratched is leaving. And she said, what? Ariana is the most responsible, super buttoned up. If there's an item that goes on the to-do list, I was laughing out loud. I never told you this, but I was laughing out loud. We had some emails going out that were going out in like 13 days. And Ariana sent me the testers, because we like to check each other's work to make sure that, just get extra eyes on stuff. And she's like, did you check them yet? And I'm like, they're not going out for 13 days. And she goes, next morning, did you check them yet? So I nicknamed her Nurse Ratched. Did you ever see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
I didn't. I know you've referenced that a couple times. No, I have not.
Okay, well, Nurse Ratched was the very stern nurse in charge of the mental hospital. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I will accept that.
She's a classic. You're a classic. There you go. Anyway, so... yeah, we're all really sad, but the whole staff should be showing up in about, I don't know what time they're coming. I think a half hour. Yeah, so we can hang out a little longer. Oh, Peter Rahal says, well, first of all, everybody's saying, wishing you all the best, and thanks for all you've contributed to Taxi. Yeah, seriously, it's heartbreaking to me. I know that she's got to do what she's got to do. Yes, Greg, she's going to Taos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk, actually.
Right. I think he's from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
We talked about this once in a chat. I forget. I know you're from New Mexico, so go New Mexico. It's beautiful. But, yeah, I'm really sad to have to leave you guys and the staff. But, family.
Yeah, family
gotta
first.
do what you have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate, but I'm going to miss you guys so much. I'm still going to, now I can maybe tune into happy hour, but I'll be a part of the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully this all has a fast and wonderful resolution. And a few months from now, Ari will call and say, hey, I want to be part of the staff again. And kind of like Bria, it's like you can check out, but you can never leave.
Yeah, she's back now.
I know.
Yeah, you can't keep us away.
Yeah, it was
It's been
just
wonderful.
such the three of us really have a good working rhythm, and
Yeah.
so and now Bria's back full time, and Isaac left to go work at a publishing company. So Bria is actually writing listings, and she's killing it. She's just doing such a great job. So we're really happy about that. And at the moment, she's kind of doing, Bria's doing a blend of writing listings, getting that done in the morning. She's 3 hours ahead of us because she's in Kentucky. So usually I get the listings now in the morning to check, and that gives her some time in the afternoon to do some of the media related stuff and marketing stuff that Ariana had taken over recently from Bria.
Lots of transitions.
Yeah. No, Bria's not back in LA. She's working remotely. Um, Yeah, I tried to have her fiance. I offered him to not marry, offered him money to not marry her. We thought about having him kidnapped or harmed in some other way, but none of that worked out. So yeah, we lost Bria, but now she's back and she's working remote.
Can keep her away.
Yeah, we're hiring on the forums is no joke.
Oh, that's so sweet. We are hiring on the. Oh. Oh, maybe they're talking about like opportunities for jobs at taxi.
Okay, so how long you were taxi?
I was in taxi for since January 2019. So
like almost
like
20 months.
over a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. It went by so quickly too.
It's funny, both for Ariana and our newest staff member, Randy, who just joined us. She just came on full time this past Monday, and she's in training mode right now.
You guys are gonna love her. She's great.
So, yeah, on both of their resumes, I think I might have told you this, only twice, I think, in the company's 28-year history have I ever written perfect on a resume. And Deb and Angel interviewed you initially, right?
Mhm. And then you walked in at the end, I think.
Yeah, Deb came into my office and said, "You should come and meet this one. I think you'll like her." And I walked in and talked to you for like 5 minutes or
Yeah.
something. Didn't even really ask you a lot of interview type questions.
Mm-hmm.
I've interviewed enough people that generally I can tell without, because look, let's face it, people don't tell the truth. Not that she would lie, but generally speaking, in an interview, people answer what they think you want to hear, is my experience, having interviewed hundreds of people. So if I get an instantly good vibe from somebody, I don't bother asking the questions so much as just asking them, like, do you fish?
Right, Andre.
Right.
You were nailed that one.
do you have problems with crows? I just want to get them talking, And with you, I walked in the room and you said like three things, and I remember thinking, I'm hiring her. And I think we offered you the job later that day.
You did. I think we even within like a half hour or something, I got a phone call, and you guys were so nice, so upfront. It was such a blessing. Yeah.
And she said, "Can I have 24 hours to think about it?" I said, "Sure." But a couple times over the years, I've gone to hire somebody, and other people in the staff said, "Well, don't be so eager," And I said, "No, I know the right person when I see the right person." "Yeah, but we've got 3 other people to interview." "I don't need to interview them. That was the right person." And I didn't make the phone call quickly, and they ended up taking another job in the subsequent 2 days, where we were still interviewing.
Yeah.
So when I met you, it's like, get her
That's
now.
so nice. Well, I loved it, and I was so ecstatic when you gave me the call. I'm just a cautious person by nature, so I think even I didn't even take the 24 hours, but I was like, let me just think for a second, marinate a bit,
Yeah.
and then obviously never once have I regretted that decision. I've learned so much from you guys. You've treated me so well, and it's just such an awesome company. I mean, obviously everybody in the chat knows that because you guys are the OGs, but I think what you guys do at Taxi and the whole business model and everything you've created, for 28 years now is beautiful, and it's something that no other company does the same way, and
Nobody
Real
else
deal.
is crazy enough to work this hard.
Yeah, that
But-
too. Yeah, everybody, I can say that. A lot of people think it's a huge company with lots of workers. No, it's family run. It is a tight knit group, and we work our butts off for you guys, and we love it because we have such amazing members like you. So, It's always worth it. It's amazing. Yeah.
It is funny. I had somebody reach out to me about 3 months ago, sent me an email. I'm funded with money, and my business partner and I want to move to the West Coast, and we're looking at companies to buy, and we keep coming back to yours. We're interested in buying your company. And I responded after about 6 or 8 emails. I just kept ignoring them and ignoring them.
Mm-hmm.
And I called him back about a week or 10 days ago, and I said, I'm not ready to sell the company yet. And frankly, when the day comes when I do want to retire, I'd prefer to sell it to the staff and have them continue on. And I don't think an outsider, they weren't even music guys. They were nice guys. And they were really, one of them had a Harvard MBA, certainly not
Wow.
stupid.
Yeah.
And he said, how many people work at Taxi? And I said, yeah, anywhere between 9 and 11 on any given day. And he went, you're kidding. He was so in shock. He said, I thought the company had at least 100 employees, and you were like this big monolithic company. And I said, no, just good
Yeah.
branding.
Right, yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, even like I remember when I was working at the front desk, so many people kind of assumed that, you know, even though we sign off with our names, that would get lost in the bunch because we're a huge building with a ton of different employees.
Right.
And I'm like, no, if you just say Ariana, like there's only one of me, we will find you, we got you, you know, it goes both ways, you know, it's a tight-knit group, so yeah. No, it's great. It's like a family. I mean, that's why we're all getting together today
Yeah.
to do that. So nice of you. So, yay, Taxi. Yay,
We couldn't
Taxi
let you just
family.
wave goodbye remotely, you
No,
know?
I wouldn't want to. I'd show up in the backyard, just, you know, instead of seeing a crow, you'd see me.
Right. Oh, man. Let's see what they're saying in there.
They're so cute.
Keep on rocking in the free world. Yeah, the staff, we are efficient. You know, we've got it down to a science, and we're always trying to make it better. But the staff, it's just, there was a period, I openly admit it, that there was a period about 5 years ago where we did not have a great staff. It made a huge difference in the company. And then about a little over 2 years ago, all of a sudden, we just started getting great people to interview and hired great people, and we really had this like perfect staff. It was the first time in a long time where I felt like I could go out of town and not worry too much. You know, I still had to check in every day and make myself available, but I knew that stuff was getting done well while in my absence. And
Yeah, the trust was there.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a big word around Taxi.
Yeah. They're so cute. Thank you for the well wishes, guys, to New Mexico. That'll at least be a pretty drive to calm down in the pandemic times and with the whole transition and leaving. But
How you're driving home by
I'm
yourself?
driving back by myself. I've never done the drive before, completely on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, taking some things that I can. Obviously the movers are coming tomorrow, as you know, but I'm taking a couple things. I'll stop, I think, in like Arizona and then stay one night and continue on. So 2 days of like 8 hours of driving. So crank the tunes and try to stay positive, and at least it's pretty. Like I said, it's a really nice drive. It's not like just concrete. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I've never gone as far as New Mexico. I've gone to Arizona, and that's gorgeous. I remember many years ago, I had a brand new car that was very fast and had a really good suspension on it. And we were driving back from the Grand Canyon, and it was like midnight. There was nobody on the road. I mean, literally, you could be on that for half an hour or more and never see another car.
Wow.
So I put it on cruise control at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's my dad does too. When we go on road trips, he's like, no one's around. There are not very many cops on these like back roads in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Just takes off. Hopefully he won't watch this episode. I'm giving away his cover. But yeah, no, it's beautiful.
I'm jealous. I really am. A good family friend of ours got the first medical marijuana growing license in New Mexico years ago. And the gentleman has got to be probably in his 70s, and he looks a little bit like Santa Claus. He's this big burly guy with a white beard and the long white hair, and he just woke up one day and heard on the radio, yeah, they're taking applications for growing legal weed in New Mexico. And he went, what the hell? And he just showed up, and he was the first one in line, and he got the license and turned it into like a thriving business. And he always wants me to, I see him. He actually is the father and father-in-law of some close friends of ours that live down there. And I see the guy probably once a year, and every time I see him, he goes, you got to come to New Mexico. Let me show you the facility and just show you the state. You'll never want to leave. Everybody says it's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's exactly, because so my family, I grew up part of my life in Miami, and that was the connection, another connection we had. So, right after Katrina, it was pretty small when it hit Miami at the time, but my mom was just really fed up with hurricanes and dealing with all that. So we literally took one spring break vacation to New Mexico. My mom had been there, 20 years earlier, but it was my dad and my first time. And we ended up, by the end of the trip, buying land there, building a house a couple of years later, and it was supposed to be like just, a second small little home, and instead my mom was like, nope, well, let's just drop everything, let's move to New Mexico in a year, and the rest was history. My parents, still live there, and we've never regretted it. We love it there. But
and they just got a new house, right? Didn't they move or something when you first started a taxi? I thought for some reason that you were helping them move or something. I don't know, maybe I'm...
Oh, it's a bunny. So cute.
I'm telling you, it's like a zoo out there.
It's so cute. No, my parents, we've had the same house since I was 12 when I moved there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was...
Maybe I'm confusing it with somebody else. I don't know.
But, we, with other family health stuff, when we were going back and forth, that was the only thing to like Arizona. But no, we've lived there the whole time, and it's beautiful. That's what made us buy the land and just go for it. My mom's not a kind of person who just drops everything. She's like Nurse Ratched. That's Nurse Ratched 1 and 2. That's where I get it from. And no, really. And so then when we just dropped it all and moved to New Mexico, like so much of our family thought we were crazy, but it's just so beautiful, so relaxing. If you ever get a chance to take Deb on a road trip, please come visit and enjoy it. You're obviously always welcome in our home, of course. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, really we've got an anniversary coming up, and we're trying to figure out what to do for our anniversary. And I thought, maybe we should just rent an RV and do like a Western States road trip or something.
Absolutely, that sounds like so much fun.
The anniversary is this month, and because of all the transitioning we're doing, not a good time for Deb and I to be on the road again.
Yeah, I know. I totally get that. I had all these plans with my family, but pre-COVID to to do stuff as a lot of people did, and obviously we canceled all that. We're like, nope. It's hard to feel comfortable staying in an Airbnb with all this stuff going on.
I know.
And all that. I know. So weird.
Even a hotel.
I know.
The little decorative pillows they put on your hotel bed, they don't change those every day. So somebody could theoretically sneeze or drool on one of those pillows, even though they change the pillowcases and the sheets, hopefully.
Right.
Then they put that little long, like hot dog shaped pillow on the bed to dress it up, and you go to take it off and it's got the Rona all over it.
Yeah, I was packing my car, and also Nurse Ratched in the side of medical things too. I'm just being extra cautious. Of course, I brought my own pillows for the trip back. I'm gonna strip some of the sheets. I probably sound like a germaphobe, but I'm just trying to be extra careful. So I totally get that. I know. I've been trying to think of, okay, I'm staying in a place like a hotel. It's semi-public. How am I gonna go around being careful? How am I gonna do this? But
yeah, Deb and I thought about driving up to Mammoth. We've got a zillion miles, or points or whatever that we could use. Spend 3 days, in a really nice suite in Mammoth. They've got a Westin up there, or it's a Westin.
So pretty.
It's just gorgeous up there. And it's I don't know, do we have to bring our own sheets and pillowcases? I do that when I check into a hotel. I normally bring wipes with me and wipe down the remote, the toilet handle, the doorknobs, anything anybody could touch, because I got so sick in a hotel room one time in Nashville that for, I don't know, 3 days I couldn't leave the room, and they were bringing me up chicken soup every few hours. I thought I was going to die, So ever since then, man, I keep wipes in my backpack and in my suitcase when I travel.
Yeah, really? That sounds, I'm sorry you had to go through that too, because it's kind of gross to think about. Yeah, you don't realize how many people come in and out and
Yeah.
aren't careful about touching stuff. You realize that in COVID when you're just afraid to touch a door handle. I mean, it's just like a few months ago, you know, you wouldn't even think about that.
No.
But
Yeah, I can't even hug her goodbye.
I know, it's such a weird time to leave. Like, even with you guys, with Liz, with different staff members, with my friends, I'm like, my instinct is to do something physical and give a hug, or at least, you know, something. And it's like, you can't. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
I gotta say, it's weird and wonderful having you. I mean, you've never been to our house before. And
No, it's my first time. It's so pretty, guys.
you.
It's beautiful here. Agora Hills, yay.
I call it the trailer park of Calabasas. Calabasas is like super wealthy. I think it's now the wealthiest enclave anywhere in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of where we live is Westlake Village, which is also pretty wealthy. So yeah, we live in the trailer park in the middle.
Oh,
Like this is
gosh.
the middle class section.
It's so
Anyway, we should probably sign off because Liz is she can't do her thing and come out here for the barbecue
Oh, that's
until
right,
we
yeah.
log off. So, Ariana, thank you. I've said it all a million times. The two of us have just, you know, been on the phone brokenhearted with each other. But
Yeah.
I will miss this one.
It's
a
definitely
lot.
mutual. I miss you so much.
So, with that, you guys, see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with us and saying goodbye to
Yes,
Ariana.
thank you.
And we will remember tomorrow. I may be trying the new device, and it may or may not work. So be patient, okay? And with that, I bid you a fond farewell. See you tomorrow for another exciting episode of Taxi TV or Quarantini Happy Hour.
Bye, guys.